and you
Uh,
should be on.
awesome. Alright, so hey everybody, welcome to the 207 Squadron Twitch stream. Today we are streaming an exciting match. We have another match in our 207 TTS tournament, the Squad Leader Tournament. With me is our streaming and data analysis guru, Alex Barbery. Um, Alex, how's it going?
Good, Ryan. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We also have someone that doesn't really need any introduction, and I'm going to gush on him a little bit. Um, he's known as Big Acrylic. He is probably responsible for 90% of the tokens that I currently use to play X-Wing, if not more than that. He is a good friend of all X-Wing players, the one and only Andrew Nuckols of Crowpaw Creatives, and host of the Birmingham Barons. How's it going, Andrew?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Doing pretty good. Glad to join.
It's really exciting to have you. I'm gonna go off script here for a second. Personally, it's really exciting for me because you are responsible for taking some of these digital tokens that I personally designed or helped
Oh,
design,
nice.
and turning them into real life acrylics. Moose shields, especially for our last tournament. Getting those in my hands was a moment of glory for me.
I mean, I love the moose shields.
Oh,
That was. Go ahead, Alex.
I was just gonna say I'm looking at mine right now because they're sitting on my desk still, and yeah,
That,
they look absolutely fantastic. Great job, and I much appreciated.
yeah, that was not something we had planned. That was something I improvised like a week before the tournament. I was like, "Hey, check these out, guys! Like, we have to get these made." I was like,
Well,
and
the
Andrew,
new
I
lighthouse
believe in
ones are
you.
cool.
The
Cool
lighthouse
as
ones are
well.
great. Yeah, I can't wait to see those in my kit as well. But yeah, you do amazing work. Um, and it's an honor to get you here to co-host with us. To be
I'm
honest.
happy to be here. I always enjoy commentating on X-Wing when I can. Unfortunately, with the lack of in-person tournaments, I haven't really been able to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy to have you. Before these guys get too far in, I'm just gonna break down a little bit of what Squad Leader is. So Squad Leader is a tournament where you choose one pilot, who is your quote squad leader, and they must have a greater or equal initiative skill than the remainder of the ships in your list. The remaining ships, the swarm, have to have a lower initiative or equal to the squad leader, and they all have to be exactly identical down to the upgrades. Players are allowed to keep the same list week to week, or they can change it up. That's up to them. Uh, Andrew, I'm going to ask you if you were playing in this tournament, what do you think you would fly?
Oh man, that's such a hard choice because I love a bunch of generics with kind of more of like a thematic leader in the squad. I mean, my first knee jerk reaction, like three for the Barons League and that kind of stuff. So I'd probably do a bunch of RZ2s. Know me.
That sounds like fun. RZ2's little aciness in there.
Yeah,
Would you go with the low initiative, or would you try to get the I3s?
I would just because I mean, since if you're going to go with the generics, you basically already have to be in extended. So I would more than likely try and hit as many ships on the board as possible. So I would probably go with the I1s just because they're great little blockers. And then you still get at least one heroic in there for each one, so that always feels good.
Heroic is awesome.
Heroic is one of those upgrades that refuses to work well until it does work great, and then you're just like a proponent for it for the rest of the time you ever play X-wing.
Exactly.
That's me with
Um,
stealth device.
right. So before I go too far, let's break down these lists. Andrew, I'm gonna take the red side, and you can take Josh's on the blue side if you don't mind.
Sure.
So on the left, we have Dread Champ. As his card says, Thomas Anonymous. And he is running Gavin Darklighter with Elusive, Targeting Synchronizer, Fire Control System, and an R3 Astromech. And then his swarm is 3 Gold Squadron veterans, each with Selfless, Dorsal, Cluster Missiles, R2 Astromech, and a hull upgrade. And that is coming in, I believe, at an even 200. Andrew, Josh's list, if you please.
Yeah, so we have Josh over here on the blue side. He is running Scorch with feedback ping, targeting synchronizer, cluster missiles, proximity mines, Connor nets. If you could possibly add a trajectory simulator in there, that would be the perfect bombing ship. However, unfortunately, you cannot. So then we have 4 Zeta Squadron survivors with automated targeting priority and cluster missiles. So basically, the whole gist is he's got targeting synchronizer. With Scorch, he grabs that lock, and then all of them can just treat it like they don't need to have the lock themselves, and then they can just cluster missile away.
It's kind of interesting because we're seeing a similar tactic on both sides here with the clusters, and then the leader being that lock battery.
Yeah, we're gonna have like the Civil War here, where they're just gonna honorably joust in the middle and just Yahtzee it up with just as many cluster missiles as they can throw.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, and they are ready to go. It looks like Dread has initiative. Let's see. Do we have any overlap? Is that gonna matter? It'll matter for Scorch, but that seems Scorch versus Gavin.
Yep. Luckily, though, with Gavin, he has the E-wing, so he just goes ahead and gets the lock. Doesn't really matter there. And then he also has targeting synchronizers, so it's really going to be some decent amount of variance if Dread can actually remove one of Josh's ships before it gets to shoot. That could be a really big boon for him. If it doesn't happen, then he could be in a really big world of pain, because that is a lot of dice being thrown.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this matchup pans out for them, just because of similarities in their list, and then also, we're looking at a little bit of an initiative difference. But if he can't take off one of these Zetas, it's not going to matter too much.
Yep, and one of the big things with ordnance-based lists like these, especially when you're going against another ordnance-based list that is higher initiative than you, the biggest thing here is range management. If you cannot get the proper band to have more of your guns on than he does, you have a faster ship than the Y-wings are. And Gavin doesn't really like to move that fast, just because they have very little good turnaround options, where the Zetas can just kind of just shoot on by, turn the arc, and still shoot the cluster missiles. It's going to be really interesting to see how well Josh can manage his range going into that first initial combat.
And I think it becomes more interesting here because of the fact that we're looking at cluster missiles. Generally, when we're dealing with the ordnance list, we're looking at
proton torpedoes,
plasmas. Long range. Here, it's you want to get up close and personal, but you don't want to get too up close.
Yeah, you want to barely catch like I'll say like 3 of the Zetas and maybe 2 of the Y-wings if you can possibly make it happen. Because that's more than likely not enough dice to be able to toss out one of the Zetas before it gets to shoot.
Exactly. And I mean, obviously with the targeting sync, probably looking at just focus tokens on these Y-wings, which we'll see how that helps them hit or not hit. Generally you like having that double mod, and you're just not going to see it here.
Yep, and that's kind of the catch-22 with the targeting synchronizer, because all it does is it just allows them to shoot their ordnance without having a target lock, but then you still don't get any of the double mods, and that's still a lot of just native or naked dice being thrown, because you're only going to get to mod them once, even if you get the double tap. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, because like it is going to be quite a bit of naked dice being thrown.
I mean, I feel like the Zetas, you know, they have the ATP. They at least have a little bit of a chance of getting a double mod, assuming they don't need to spend a focus on defense.
That is very true. Now, unfortunately, with the automated targeting priority, I may be wrong here, but if you miss the first cluster missile shot, you don't actually get the calculate token for that second cluster missile shot because it only triggers whenever you engage.
Yep, that is correct. It's before you engage.
Yep.
Obviously, if you don't have a shot, you still get it, but they're gonna get it too late for it to be useful.
Yeah, so it'll be better on the second turn, which that's really where the Zetas are going to shine the most, I think, because they have the speed and they can just turn around, turn that arc, and still get to fire those missiles as they need to. Then you also have bombs in the mix with Scorch, and Scorch's ability is really interesting as well. While a friendly ship is 0-1 performs a primary attack, which probably not going to happen that often this game, may spend one result or one hit result. If it does, defender gains one strain token. So at least Scorch, if you can really get into that, just get that free hit, you can at least toss a strain on something to make a Y-wing a decimator for one of the other shots.
Yep. So you weren't here for the announcements about this. Scorch's subtitle, like his actual name is Jad Bean. And we have an individual who has actually issued the Jad Bean Challenge, which is to win a match in which you have Scorch and your opponent does not. Which is why we're seeing a little bit of this Scorch bomber showing up.
I mean, Scorch is Scorch is an amazing TIE fighter, or TIE FO, I guess. But even then, like, I mean, he's baseline just a really good pilot on any of his iterations.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's a Scorch I don't like. You know, he's a good filler in his FO, and then he makes for an interesting squad leader, as we're seeing here, in the bomber.
I'll say this too, because I came into helping you guys out with this, not knowing what the format was as far as like, oh, they need to have like a higher initiative named pile, then all the rest of them can be generics, that kind of thing. And I think that's a really cool limitation because it leads to kind of more stuff like this to where you have to focus a little bit more on the basics to make sure that you have the action efficiency to keep up with, I'll say, 5 ships in a list that all have ordnance or whatever. And I really like that format.
This is actually our second theme tournament. Our last one was basically, I'm trying to remember we called it Chassis Wars. It was every list basically had to be a salad. You weren't allowed to have any duplicate chassis. That even applied week to week. If you flew, like a TIE Reaper week 1, you couldn't fly a TIE Reaper again.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
We're trying to get into the niche of unique tournament themes. So it's nice to hear that people are appreciating it, even those who might not get the chance to play. Just getting to see it from the outside.
Yeah. So kind of what Warbot said, the obstacles definitely favor Dread's approach right now, just because Josh is in a little bit of an odd position because he's going to either have to hopscotch with red and blue just so he can then move with green and yellow. Because if he keeps green and yellow in the front, it's going to be hard for him to engage with all 4 at the same time, unless he just accepts going over the gas cloud with at least one of them. That'll be a pretty interesting thing because he's kind of at a weird angle right now anyways, where with green, he's not going to be able to bank in effectively unless he does a 3 bank. And I don't think he wants to move that fast yet.
I definitely see that. I mean, because we're probably going to see. What are you thinking we'll see from these Y-wings? A 1 bank, a 2 bank, and a 3 bank.
I would probably just do 1 straights and see how aggressive Josh is going to be. But again, I don't play with all you guys, so I don't really know exactly how aggressive each player is normally. For me, like, I would probably, if I did know the opponent, I would slow roll. If I did know my opponent and I kind of knew because he's kind of like clustered up right now and he's got a weird engagement band, then I would really push hard, and I'd probably do 2 banks and 3 banks if I could fit it to go ahead and put the pressure on to where he has to make a decision the next round. Okay, I have to accept this cloud just so I can get a shot.
And it looks like Josh is kind of pushing in. He's doing those fast moves. He's doing that 3 bank you were talking about. Going a 2 straight with green though.
That's going to be now he will be able to roll behind yellow here, set up that 1 bank for the next turn. Not a bad call. Probably going to do a 2 bank with red, I imagine. Ooh, 3 hard, nice. I like that. And he's just going to go ahead and take.
Nicely.
Yep. And just doing the 1 bank and bumping. Okay, yeah, he's kind of set himself up to be in a pretty decent position now. Looks like yellow is not going to hit that gas cloud coming out into this next round.
And we are seeing those 1 and 2 banks. So
yep, trying to close that gap. This I'm pretty sure this almost guarantees that it's going to be a full round of cluster missiles for everyone this next round.
I think the dice are gonna roll, and we're gonna see what 12 on the one side and 9, probably
now
12 from the other side. I don't know if Scorch is gonna be able to get in there.
Scorch probably won't be able to get in there until the next round. The big thing here is yellow does not have any tokens at all, and we just have a focus token on blue. If they can even take 1 or 2 shields off of blue or yellow, that could be a really big thing for the next round.
I know that would definitely getting to soften these guys up before the big engagement happens.
Yep.
Definitely worth it.
Even if you lose a shield on a Y wing, for trading a shield on one of the Zetas, that is a very big difference.
Taking the stress on Scorch here.
This is an interesting choice because now he's not going to get his system phase boost, which is fine.
Yep.
So checking ranges here, already in combat. And let's see if he's got nothing in there.
Just out.
It's always hard to tell on TTS for me how close everything is.
It is. It's a different board, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it better than that.
Yeah, like if it was on a real table, I could tell you immediately if it was in range or not. So
it's an adjustment.
Yeah, so nothing there, and we are back to dials.
And while we're in there, I'm just gonna throw out some stats from last week. So last week we saw that Republic basically did not get flown in the first week of this league. Last week it jumped up. We got 2 Republic lists. And then basically everything else was 1 to 2 lists except for Rebels up at 3. So you had mentioned you've been getting into Resistance, and you were going to fly A-Wings. I'm trying to think if we've seen any Resistance A-Wings. We saw Poe. Everybody loves Poe in these types of formats.
Poe is, especially if you throw overdrive on him, and since you're an extended, you throw outmaneuver on him, and you just get to dance around however you want. Versus against a bunch of generics, like that is exactly what he wants.
Yeah, no. Poe loves this format. And then so you were saying Y-wing or A-wing, sorry. Let's see, how many A-wings can you fit? Which would be your leader? Who are you thinking lead that squad?
ZZ all day.
ZZ,
best A-wing. She's just the best A-wing. It's so hard to beat the action efficiency that you get. You just slap heroic and lone wolf on her. You're done. I mean, I guess you could put Prockets and advanced optics if you get points.
I'm playing around and checking these points. So you get 4 blue squadrons with heroic. You get ZZ with heroic. Lone wolf. Lone wolf is way up there at 5 points now. And you have 12 points left. Prockets.
That's pretty much right where you need to be. I mean, I'd probably take the 1 point and put Ferris Sphere on her. So you do Prockets and then Ferris Sphere and
You actually
never
have
mind.
4 points left, so you can put ATP on each of the
Yeah,
generic.
yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
You got this little A-wing swarm. So we do actually have a couple of additional challenges. So we've already mentioned the Jad Bean challenge. Other challenges we have are we call it Choose Your Pain. And basically the idea is you can either fly your leader with no upgrades or your swarm with no upgrades or both, which is the real masochist in you.
Either, yeah, very challenging at that point.
Um,
Unless you can just fit in an extra ship just for not having upgrades, then you're fine.
I've been doing the Choose Your Pain challenge, and last week I doubled down. I did the Jad Bean challenge, and I flew a bunch of these Zetas with nothing. So it's Jad Bean and upgradeless Zetas, and then this past week I flew Kath with mining guild ties.
Nice.
Kath needed some love. I don't think I've ever seen Kath at the table.
So we're about to go into this first round of actual combat. I want to say that you're going to see really fast maneuvers out of these Zetas to try and get as many bumps and muddle up the fight as much as possible, I think.
You would do
I'd probably do a 5
with
straight
yellow?
with yellow. Roll if you need to into a spot to possibly catch that one bank out of red, which will maybe catch a one bank out of yellow. Because if you can remove those focus tokens, then they're really just playing Yahtzee.
They're just rolling dice and hoping. So you
Yeah,
did the three bank with blue.
Three bank here is, I mean, it's he's got cluster missiles. He's just raring to shoot. It's definitely not fast enough to catch any of the maneuvers that the yellows are going to do, or the Y wings, excuse me.
Yep. The golds.
Yeah,
Golds and yellows.
I know what I meant. Just everyone else did. Okay, so yeah, this is like perfect spot right here for yellow, and this is what you want to do as a lower initiative pilot. Like I know a lot of people like kind of look down on players that just fly a whole bunch of lower initiative, like ones and twos and that kind of stuff. And there's a whole other metagame to just playing these lower initiatives, to where you have to take advantage of the benefit that you have of being able to move first.
Absolutely. He is trying to get them in there. Red, are you thinking red's gonna have to barrel roll to fit green, or is green gonna put that cloud?
I probably would have evaded here with red, because that's probably going to be the best attack band for everything, unless he just doesn't get any blocks or something. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know what the blue maneuvers are for Scorch for the bottom.
They're not great. I know that.
Look at that double bump. Really well placed.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That was exactly what you were looking for. He got it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things with this game that I've learned over the years is that you want to try to take as many more actions as you can against your opponent. And generally, and unless your opponent just happens to roll hot, which it does happen, more action is always better, and less action is better for you.
Absolutely. So the issue for Scorch here is 100% comes down to that boost. The only blue moves for the FO bomber are the 1, 2, and 3 straights.
Ooh, so he's probably only going to be able to hit red or yellow for a lock, and that's going to be I think taking that boost was a pretty risky maneuver here, because he didn't really know exactly how fast the Y wings were going to go, and you really need that target lock to go ahead and set up those shots.
Yeah, I would have, because if we move Scorch back, we could have gotten a nice 3 bank out of there,
Mm-hmm.
which would have set up beautifully.
And let's
a
see if
target
I don't know
lock
if he
barrel
reaches
roll.
here.
He can barrel roll in. if you really
And then
want
can
to.
he lock into it?
But then you're stressed again, so you're kind of on an exit trajectory.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I would say that the target locks are probably more important here. But I don't know if he can barrel roll in there. I think green's in the way.
He's just
Oh,
going
and
for
he
the
just
lock
barely
and
misses
miss
it.
out. So yeah, I mean the nice thing for these guys, there's no bombs or mines on the obviously mines would be awful on these Y-wings right now. There's no bombs, so if these guys can weather the storm, these Zetas can take a lot of dice coming in.
He's got the pick of the litter here with Gavin.
Yeah. Do you think green gets that red one there? I think
I think you Gavin into red. That's going to be the highest amount of target priority, I think, or blue. Yeah, actually, yeah, blue's better.
I think
Just looking
blue
at the
is because you've got all 3 Y-wings for sure in there.
yeah, they all 3 Y-wings, and he doesn't have any defensive.
And with these clusters, you can actually bounce off red and yellow. I think red and blue are range 1. I'm trying to decide now.
You definitely spend your focus token here. You try and overload those dice as much as possible. Especially with no target locks anywhere for Josh's squad, there's almost no threat of you losing a ship this round.
These are going to be pea shooters coming back.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you definitely spend that focus. So you're guaranteeing a shield here.
Blue. And blue's got no defensive mods.
So 2 shields, not bad call. So now you shoot with green first here. You try and get rid of blue as quick as possible. At least from my experience, you always want to shoot with the one that has the least amount of options to shoot later.
Absolutely. You don't want to kill the only shot that you had with that ship and miss out on being able to attack.
Shoot. Yep. Because if the result is going to be the same, you can still get more out of it.
Exactly.
So it looks like red into blue here makes sense.
And this is going to be 3 dice, no mods.
Now with the cluster missiles, you don't get the range bonus. Ooh, there we go. That is a heck of a shot, even just for native dice.
Oh, and Gavin ability for the double crit.
And last shield happening here. And that is half points on blue.
And is going to bounce off to red.
Yep.
Get fresh dice. Paint wasn't good enough the first time.
And just another 2 crits happening here. Red's in a pretty good position here to probably not take any real damage. Well, I'd lied.
Oh, curse.
Yeah, that's when you need heroic, right?
Exactly. See, that's if these were A-wings.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Or it would have been blanks into blanks because that's the stereotypical heroic look.
That happened to me the other day on the table, and it felt real bad. So second shot coming in here, yellow onto blue.
Well, that's some good news.
Lower than average roll, just 1 singular crit, but if this goes through, he is taking it. And he's not.
Evade. Then bouncing off again.
Yep.
And the nice thing, I mean, it's kind of disappointing. You can reload the clusters, but they're not like thermal detonators. You only get 1 reload.
Yep. So 2, that's going to be a hit crit coming into red. Bit of a danger here. And nope, totally evaded.
It's the natties.
So more than likely no ships from Josh's side are going to be lost this round. Unless there's just a bang out shot here onto blue.
And we are seeing the what you were talking about, where you start with green because if he had killed blue,
Yep.
there was no double tap available there.
Yep. And
Oh.
no real shot here, just a crit coming through. No chance to die. And
It's the
safe.
evade. Oh, I mean, coming out of there, half a ship, 2 shields. That's
Not
could
too
have been
bad.
worse things.
That is Josh should definitely be thanking his lucky stars right now.
And I don't know if this guy's in range for the Jad beaning.
Yeah, so I think you pretty much just take all of your shots onto red here or yellow, either one.
And
He
he sent
is
the
in range,
Jad.
so he can at least remove or add a strain here if he felt like it. I think you just let that lie. Yeah, you just let it sit. Get that guaranteed shield.
And it should be 2 dice, right? They're all. Oh no, some of them were ranged too. Look at that.
So 2 shields coming off of red, I believe.
Let's see where they flipped the shields. It looks like they're actually checking. Oh, selfless.
Selfless.
Gonna split the shield damage.
Two
Red will
shields
take
is still
one.
2 shields.
And red will take one. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, obviously spreading damage is good, but I mean, you are still taking damage.
Yep, still a lot of shots happening here.
He's shifting into Gavin. I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know
I
if
care
that's
for
the
that.
right call. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right call there. Well,
He's still gonna have the
seems fine.
But into a Y-wing, that would have been, a guaranteed shield.
Yep.
And it is a shield.
Still a shield here. You're probably gonna.
You're gonna pull it off though. Oh, elusive.
Oh, elusive, sweet. Elusive on E-wings is great, and there it is.
Yeah. Well, especially and we don't see it here because of the targeting synchronizer, but pattern analyzer elusive E-wings are just terrifying.
Yeah, they're so much fun. So then we have range. Oh, sorry. No, I was trying to see what range he was trying to band
it looks
in here.
like it's 1 on everyone except Gavin. It's 1 Gavin. So he is gonna swap it over to green now. The 3 dice. It looks like.
Ooh, there it is. Guaranteed 2. And he has taken 2 somewhere on the list.
I was gonna say it's gonna be 1 into green and probably bouncing off into yellow.
Yeah, I'm just spread it out as much as possible. Yep, there it is.
He's pinging now. There we go.
So he net 1 extra damage into this list.
This is actually impressive. I would not have expected with Jad Bean so far out of it that it actually would have worked out so well.
Yep. Range 1 into green here. That's probably the right call. And purely average roll, just 1 hit.
Has the focus.
Spending the focus. Yep.
This is actually good. No crit results is actually the ideal here.
Yep. So you can really focus in.
That's
guaranteed.
Evade should be half points.
Yep. Now that green does have a focus available, so high chance he just loses. He just takes 1 card here, but you never know. We've seen crazier. There's the roll and the evade.
It does save half points. Now looking at it, who do you feel came off better there? Like I was not expecting Josh to get that.
Josh absolutely came out better here because he's in a substantially better position for this next round because he can turn his arcs around, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I like RZ2 so much, and I guess SFs is just because they have such good time on target. that it's hard to combat that with something like a Y-wing.
That absolutely makes sense. I mean, like you got the dorsals, but if you're rotating the dorsals, you're not getting the mods like
Exactly.
you would with RZ2 or
And
the mini fire sprays, as I call them.
yep, and Dredd really was hoping to remove one of these Zetas before one, it got to shoot, but then two, before it gets behind them, because Y-wings have very, very, very bad options to get back around. Now, none of them are stressed, and they definitely can and probably will K-turn this round just to go ahead and make sure that they have as much time on target as possible.
And speaking of that K-turn, so you're predicting the K-turns for the Y-wings? Then do you think we see the sloop with Gavin?
I probably would. But I would sleep in the opposite direction as where the Y-wings are going, because you're going to probably muddle up where everything is.
Thankfully, the players can't see my finger, because that's exactly what I was just tracing out. I was looking at that gas cloud, and I'm like, that'd be a beautiful sloop to the right for Gavin.
It should fit just fine. And I mean, for Josh here, like I'm not super familiar with flying SFs because I just don't play FO, but I just assume they're all just going to move really fast here.
I think
Blue and yellow for sure.
Yellow and blue are just going to try to jump. You think that hard to the left, that probably hits the gas cloud for yellow. Maybe a 3-bank left.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about, you got to come around eventually.
So the now red here for Josh is in a really good position to try and block those K turns if he feels like that's going to happen. Because you could do the 2 hard and then you could probably barrel roll, or if you just do the 2 hard, you probably block green and yellow.
You definitely get yellow, I think. Green, it's gonna be.
It'll be tough. Yeah, it'd be real tough. And you could block red with green if you felt like it. Honestly, I think green, you just do a 1-bank.
I was actually thinking the same. A nice 1-bank with green.
Yep.
Then Scorch, do you think we see the boost and then some kind of bank or hard turn to kind of in that gap between the locked cloud and the Dion's favorite, the pickle cloud?
So probably what I would do here is I would do a system boost in, and then because that'll put him right about here. Then you probably do either a hard turn just onto the cloud and accept it, or you do a bank, just like a 1-bank, just to make sure that you have an avenue for the next round, and just so you can get that lock.
Yeah, I would say that lock is huge.
Yep,
for sure.
Because you really want to see this next round to be a lot of cluster missiles happening onto those Y-wings that you've already softened up a little bit.
I'm gonna say if you get that off right, you're almost guaranteed to take green out, and I mean you might get pretty far into yellow. Ooh.
Yep. He tried to do a 1-bank. So going a little slow here, maybe just trying to muddle up the scrum just to make sure that if he's going to try and go slow, looks like he's expecting them to go slow here.
Definitely not playing for that K-turn.
Yep.
So I wish. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, so if Dredd does that K-turn, then it's going to be a really bad time.
Well, and it's interesting. It's kind of hard to see because he's not using the fancy turrets. Blue's turret is forward. Yellow had already rotated. I almost wish we had seen blue rotate last turn.
Mm-hmm.
In anticipation, especially. Oh, and he just rotated yellow forward. I think that was a mistake on his part. I think he got confused on which way he was facing. We'll let the players sort that out because, yeah, it's blue facing forward. I think is going to be tough because if these Y-wings do jump over, we're not getting anything.
Yep, there it is.
And there's those 4Ks.
Yep, pretty much right on cue here. And there's the other 4K. This is going to be a painful round for Josh, more than likely.
I think we
Oh.
definitely see. Oh,
He
did
tried to do the sloop left.
Left. I am surprised to see that. I'm also surprised Scorch did not do the pre-position boost. The hard 3.
It's possible he forgot about it, but I mean, he still had the hard 3 in there, and that is a pretty good avenue for him to get through. Looks like he's going to go for Gavin here. Probably not a bad call because that's the only spot that he has multiple arcs on point. Unfortunately, though, yellow is not going to even get to shoot, and then red doesn't. Well, red has a shot at, I guess, red or yellow, but
Yeah, red's got that bar
not sure
going.
if blue actually has a shot on Gavin.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that angle out myself.
I don't think he does.
And I mean, I'm not even sure red or blue's gonna make it that long with
No,
with
probably
3 sets
not.
of clusters coming in from behind. I wouldn't be surprised, depending on how casual they're playing, to see if Josh gets to turn that yellow arc back around. That's one thing we're pretty good about is very casual.
You guys are too nice. I'm just, I'm just mean.
I mean,
So looks like we have a hit and a crit coming through. One
probably gonna spend
evade.
that focus. Yeah, for sure, spending that
Yep.
focus.
Yeah, you
I think
gotta dodge them while you can.
I think health is the bigger concern right now for Josh. Absolutely.
So we do have Scorch, and now he gets to use his own ability, correct?
Correct. It is a friendly ship at 0 to 3. If we see a hit,
There it is.
I don't. Come on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get rid of that. You're going through a gas cloud. You're not hitting Gavin here.
Yeah. I was like, please don't even hesitate on that one. The beans. I think we have to call that the bean inning.
Yeah, it would. He'd have to blank out completely. Well, never mind. He'd have to just get a whole bunch of focuses. But
I'm gonna say it'd have to be all eyeballs.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely better to just take that strain there. You know you're not hitting. And here come these Y-wings. And they've clearly got the pick of the litter here. Sure, we see them go into blue, but I think we're seeing the same thing we saw last time with green. I almost would have liked to see them start with green.
yeah, because he's the furthest one back. He needs to be able to have the largest, the easiest shot because he has the least amount of options.
And I think green would definitely be range 2 here.
Yep.
Getting that 2-3 dice attack, and then say you take out blue and maybe red goes down with yellow. You don't have to waste that cluster with this shot that he's thinking about now.
So it looks like red is using clusters, I'm assuming, onto blue?
Would hope so.
Just one, and you kind of watched him like roll over from a hit and a crit, and it just feels bad watching that happen.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was looking at those dice and the way they were falling.
And there's one evade.
That's big. And then the double tap into red. Ooh, yeah, red's down 2 shields.
And there it is. Guaranteed damage here. Ooh.
Depending on the crit. Nope. Wrong way, Josh.
So there's 1 shield, 1 hit, 1 crit coming through. Could be a direct.
Get a
structural damage.
Well, that's almost as bad as a direct.
That pretty much seals the deal for red. Because that was yellow's. Or no, that was red shot.
That was the first.
So there's still technically.
And now we see
more shots coming in here. Yeah.
So over to green.
Yep, that's the right call here. Going into blue, possibly kill blue here, and then if you can, then double tap into red, get 2 for 1. Yellow has pick of the litter.
I think. I mean, Scorch is gonna have to carry hard. Yeah.
Oh no! And there's that crit in the
blue.
So still possible dead here. Fuel leak, still alive. The greens giveth and they taketh away.
Yes. They're a fickle friend.
Yeah.
Or foe, depending on which way you look at it.
So I think, yep, we have here. We're going to go. You definitely take that shot into red. Yep. Getting a new set of dice.
Got to make sure they're fresh every time.
Just 2? Oh, there we go.
There it is.
I was like, that's new to me. And
that's
that is
definitely the
guaranteed
end.
dead. Yep.
Even without the structural.
Yep, even without. And oh, there's the evade when he needs it.
The
And
evade.
unfortunately, it did not matter. Taking a hull breach just right at the end there. He is absolutely dead.
This is a nice crit to get out of the deck, though.
Yep.
And that was green, so yellow now. Probably going to finish off blue.
Yep. Blue only has 1 left, and then you get another shot into green. Seems like the right choice for targeting priority this time. Ooh.
That's huge.
So nothing here, and blue lives to see another day.
I think that is absolutely huge. I mean, just getting 1 more turn, especially because we're seeing green is the only one with cluster charges left.
Yep. So hit crit coming into green here, or 2 crits coming into green here. He is safe from death.
Just takes 1 shield. Right.
All right, now we have the unfortunate sad shots happening here. Well, we may see some damage onto Gavin. Definitely try and shoot with blue here first, just to check arc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, and nothing there.
No target.
Oh, it looks like they did talk it out, and they did allow him to rotate that arc back.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. I noticed it was backwards, so that's good. So 3 dice, no mods. The one downside to getting all these hits last turn is now we're looking at unmodded dice. Well, I guess you don't need mods.
So only 2 dice for Gavin here. Guaranteed at least 1 shield.
Just rolling them one at a time.
And that is 3 damage.
Yep.
That is really big. Half points on Gavin in 1 shot.
That is huge. It's important to know Gavin doesn't have the elusive because the red maneuver, but did not complete.
Yep. And looks like we have. Oh, he forgot to shoot with Scorch. No, he shot with Scorch.
Yeah, he's short. That's how he ended up with the
Yep.
screen.
Oh, he was pointing out Scorches for targeting synchronizer. That's what he was doing.
Way out though. It's a 1 to 2. But they're gonna check the bubble anyway. It looks like.
Yep. So it looks like it's just going to be a primary shot.
Should be a range 2 unless that corner sneaks.
I'm pretty
in,
sure
but I
that's a
don't
range
think it
1.
does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. So targeting sync didn't really matter there. I don't think Gavin was at range 1 of any of his friends.
Oh, that's when you hope you really get the second bang out shot, especially with the focus, just to get rid of Gavin off the board. But no dice that time, and he would have been fine anyways.
And hopefully, well, APT is a must. So Alex, if you're listening, I just want to remind them of APT since that is a must.
Yeah, you have no option.
Which is kind of nice, being a must. I never like those gotcha moments.
Yeah.
By having that be a must, it definitely helps out.
It definitely helps. So APT is being charged up for yellow here. Blue is on his last leg for Josh. I think you just try and run as far away as you possibly can and you take an evade and rotate.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to think of how you want to do that. I mean, these Y wings, these are rebel Y wings. We're looking at 1 and 2 straights, and the banks are the blues. Yeah, you thinking just like a 5 forward and
So for me, what I would do is I would either do a 3 hard to the left,
okay.
or I would do a 3 bank to the right, and then depending on how far that puts me, if I could roll behind the cloud, I would. I don't think it puts you that far though.
I don't think it does. I liked it, and then I started kind of thinking about that with my mouse, and I was like, oh, that's
It's
quite enough.
I think
like
it's just a little bit on the inside, but I think doing a 3 hard to the other side is going to give you the best possible chance of survival, especially because you may be able to fit in a roll to get closer on the inside to either force him to move his arc with probably yellow and green. I don't know.
I do like that. I do like that hard 3 to the left. Because I think you also got to have Scorch coming in. Hopefully we see that system phase boost to help get around that gas cloud. Then just kind of a turn in. I mean, Gavin's going to be out of the fight.
Yep, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, is the second that E-Wings have stress and they can't, and they're not in a good firing position for the next round, they basically, like, we're not going to see him for at least 2 turns minimum, just because he did get blocked there on that K turn. And if Gavin actually wasn't there, blue would actually, I'd say, do the 2 hard and you roll in to force some bumps on red and yellow.
And what we're thinking about this, so Zeta, on an escape, or blue on an escape route. I think green. Do we see green turn in? Do you think that clears Gavin with the hard 2 right?
It'll definitely clear Gavin, and that's probably what I would do here, is to try and remove as many actions from them as possible, especially because they kind of have an edge right now, and you need to try and get as much from them as possible, because we got half points on Gavin here this last round, but those Y-Wings still have a lot of health in the tank.
Exactly, and we can't forget they also have R2D2s, or
Yep.
R2s. I mean, so if they decide to start regenning because they're getting bumped, they have that much more health in the tank.
Yep. So he forwent his system phase boost again with Scorch, or maybe he's just kind of forgotten that it exists.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's just not on his mind anymore.
So he does a left 2, or he banked. Interesting. So it looks like he's just going to keep that there. Maybe he's going for he's rotating. I think that's kind of a little bit of hubris there, because he's just almost guaranteeing that that he's going, like, that he's just going to die.
Putting him right in that firing squad, and that makes me very nervous.
Yeah. And there's just 1 straights. Yep. There's no reason to do anything else as the Y-Wings here.
Thinking about that focus, but yeah, there it is. I say it's your clusters are gone. You're just taking your shots, whoever's there.
Yeah, so the only green is the only one that has clusters left, just because he had that weird shot at the beginning of 2 rounds ago. So 2 straight out of here, taking out that stress.
I think green has both of these if he wants that cluster shot too.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that definitely feels like a good call to start with that. Now, here's an interesting thought. I wonder if he anticipated where Gavin would be, and part of the reason he didn't do the pre-position boost with Scorch, because he wants to make sure he can get some kind of bomb or mine right in here.
Yeah. stop him
rip out of
from,
it.
yeah,
That's
close off
the
an
only thing I
avenue.
can think of. Yeah.
Well, couldn't you boost and then drop it in the exact same position that you're in now, and then have a better firing solution after you move?
That's absolutely true. That would have been an option.
Scorch taking a lock on yellow, so he's priming that cluster missile shot from green, because if blue's still surviving after this, then I mean I got nothing.
And then there's a lot of not happy dice.
Mm-hmm. Blue on a singular hole here.
And just double checking the targeting sync. Definitely has all his friends.
Yep. Can do whatever he wants. So he's just hoping for a whole bunch of nothing multiple times in a row. So he's gotta hope he natties out of this almost, just because you really want to save that focus for later. And there it is.
Wow. That is huge. Because that keeps a shot off green too.
Yep.
That's the other thing. Now yellow or
especially
red.
because he is the only one left with clusters, and now the clusters are going to be completely depleted.
Getting those clusters out of there, I mean that. Unfortunately, being clusters on clusters, it makes it tough because you still have to get into those close range.
Yep.
Zetas.
So it's 3 shields, 2 shields. Oh,
Shield.
there was already a shield off of green. Okay, so half points on green. We got a range 1 coming in here, and this is where you really, Josh is just like, come on, I'm almost there. So
Another
two hits out of here. Just hoping for the double nats again. And, well, those are nats, but not what you want.
Gets the heroic nats.
And blue is off the table.
Now,
and red gets a free shot into green.
And green, just even if you live on one hull with green, that's all you're hoping for here. Just something to keep green.
Yep.
That cluster off. Try to kind of swing this a little bit. That is not the way to swing this.
Hit 2 crits going into hull. Guaranteed crit happening here. Oh no!
And that was the worst case scenario.
So he's triggered heroic 5 times so far.
Oh, that's good. We've got a heroic counter going.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awful. You hate to see it.
I think with ATP, it's almost worth always evading with these guys at times. Like, I know you want the offensive mods, but you're gonna get it anyway.
Yep. So just a range 3 pot shot into yellow or red.
Keep it there, Josh. You don't need that. He was grabbing that calculate token, but it's not gonna help.
Nope.
Just taking a long range 2 die. Going into yellow, it looks like.
Yeah, 2 hits.
2 dice.
Respectable.
When he has rolled red dice, they have been
great.
favorable.
Yeah.
It's just that time on target hasn't quite been there.
Yep.
Now, I'm thinking we're gonna see yellow and green go fast. Just try to get the yellow Zeta. I think red potentially turns in and tries to get in Scorch's way.
I definitely would. At this point, you have almost full control over the map, especially with Gavin coming back around. Even if he drops a proximity mine, Gavin doesn't really care because he just does that too hard,
and then just a little barrel roll around it.
Yep, and just kind of hangs out.
The other thing for Gavin is if he wants to, he can link that reposition.
Yeah,
2 more
roll
locks
out
out there.
to get both of
Locks
those
don't really
locked.
help. I mean,
I mean,
they're good for him now, but not so much for the Y-Wings, I guess is
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
But yeah, I definitely would put red in front and try and stop Scorch from doing stuff, and then
The only
chase with
danger
green and yellow.
the only danger with that is blocking these FO bombers is not always the best choice, because that banked boost does clear, which gives you that free mine
Yep.
or Connor's net. But it might be worth it because Red's still got the shield. I don't think Red's really scared too much of those prox mines. I mean, at best it's 3 damage, which I mean is damage, but
Yep. So he does
a
do
wipe.
the bank boost here. Why did he take a stress there?
I don't think he realized that was a white boost. I
Okay.
just let them know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important to note for people listening in that system phase boost is white, because there is no color stated. It's just like what is the Reaper? Fair off. I'm trying to remember. There's a Reaper that gets a free coordinate after he does his
Yeah.
move.
So we do see the 2 hard from the red Y-wing here trying to go for that block. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen unless he's just doing a 1 straight.
Again, even if he does block, I mean, it does cost Scorch the action, but Scorch has that lock.
And he's not in a bad spot either. Going full aggression here. Really hoping for that he had that block.
Actually, like getting that block might favor Scorch depending on where green goes.
Oh wow!
You want that block because that's
Yep.
2 cluster missiles right there.
Could see a little bit of a swing here.
And a barrel to the left.
Did he not take an action?
He's barrel rolling.
Oh, okay.
He had pinged it just to be clear. When you get the dial facing the opposite way, it's interesting.
Interesting why he would roll here. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose with that would be.
I wonder if he was worried about yellow, but like yellow would shoot yellow anyway. Maybe he's hoping if Scorch goes past, that it keeps on the cluster, and we see the sloop from Gavin.
Interesting. I guess he's just trying to keep his options open.
Ooh, and Scorch does clear there.
Well, he's getting shot at by 3 dorsal turrets, which doesn't feel very good.
He can do a
He can roll. He's just gonna take the focus. I'd probably roll out and just take the 1 from green.
Yeah, just from green.
No
and
shot
that barrel,
from Gavin.
Barrel for green actually, excuse me, was pretty heads up. Now looking at it, because that's what let Scorch clear.
Yep.
Bumping Scorch there, I mean, that would have actually favored Josh, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a range 1 dorsal coming into Scorch here. And just because it's the first time I've seen one of these on the board, they have 6 health.
Yes. And they get 2 agility.
So 2 coming in here, double nats.
It's the natties. It seems like it's either natties or saddies.
Yeah, there's nothing else in between. Range 1 coming in from yellow.
And
yellow take that focus.
Yep. 1 at a time, it seems. 1
So
evade.
1 evade, almost guaranteed. And yep.
Spends the focus.
Yep. Dodge it while you can.
Building that suspense with the one die at a time.
And range 1 out of green. And a whole bunch of nothing.
Barrel. Yep. I mean, the barrel helped, but didn't really get anything out of it. Scorch now has that free bomb drop.
Yep. And he's guaranteeing that he's going to hit the I guess you get to choose with the proximity mine.
I think he'll go yellow, merely because yellow's already down on shields.
Yep.
And that's your potential for half points. If he wanted to be tricky, and I don't know if Josh is aware of this, you do the boost to the left with Scorch. Do you think that prox mine would catch green?
No, I don't believe so. Because you're moving basically a full base and a half, and a prox mine is 2.
It would just be short.
It would be
Well, the
like
Connor's
it'd be
bad.
millimeters, yeah. Connornet may catch it. I don't know if the Connornet's worth it here though.
Well, I'm just thinking that would give you the half on green. That would stop green from doing anything but a focus for 2 turns. And depending on what green's maneuver was this turn, that might take green out of the fight.
And we do have yellow coming back around for the Zeta. So we do have some kind of... Sorry, my cat likes to meow sometimes.
Adding another co-host.
Yeah. But we do have yellow coming back around here, and he does have his full suite of cluster missiles ready to go. And full health.
Yeah. We already have that lock established on the yellow Y-wing. That might be a reason to just drop that prox, put it into yellow, see if you can get something into yellow to justify it into that yellow Y-wing. It'll be interesting to see which way Josh goes with this, because there's some options. Sure. He was ready for that bomb drop before before Dreaded even set his dials. He's hovering over it. Like, ooh, bombs.
I've noticed whenever because I don't play bombers very often, and whenever I do have a bomb on a bomber and I like have that bomb ready to go, I just get so excited because I just don't. It doesn't happen that often for me. I'm just like, oh, heck yes, this is going to be the best. And then like I'll get so excited that sometimes I'll just forget about it because I'm like, all right, system phase. All right. Oh no, I forgot it.
Well, and you can't even do the trick that I like to do with the curled paw creative S-foil tokens, where I put them right on my dial. Every time I move, those are on my dial. Just as a reminder.
I've got a pair of those myself for every X-wing.
I am so bad at remembering my S-foils because I've been playing Poe quite a bit lately, so I literally just have the token and I have the card literally just following him around everywhere, so I have 2 reminders.
Yeah, you need them with that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's always that you don't want to be the guy that asks in that awkward moment of like, hey, do you mind? I know I moved my ship, but I meant to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, a couple gimmes, okay. Once you get to the 5th or 6th time, it's like, all right, I'm not asking.
Yep. All right, so it looks like we're almost all set here.
He's thinking about that green one.
Yep.
Josh has half the ships. He was very decisive. You got a plan.
So don't forget it this time. Yep, there's the bomb drop. Going for the range 1. He's using definitely I think a prox mine here is probably
I think in this situation it's got to be the prox.
This is when you wish you dropped in cluster bombs.
Oh yeah, cluster would be beautiful here. And he's
doing it on yellow.
For yellow.
Trying to get those half points going.
So yellow takes 1, and then we see what these dice are.
And that is half points. That is what you want.
That is nice. And just...
So 13 minutes on the clock. We probably have about 2 more rounds left in the game. Josh has a lot of ground to cover to try and catch back up on points right now.
Yeah.
But he is sitting pretty good. He has 2 full health ships on the board, and he has half points on Gavin and half points on yellow. He just needs 1 more card on green to pull out the half points there. We do have some aggressive moves coming into yellow here coming in from red onto the Zeta.
This is kind of interesting to me because I'm assuming yellow Y-wing is going to do a similar move. He's at range 2, which is actually where Josh wants him. Obviously doesn't have the lock right now, but yellow coming in, that's going to be close.
Interesting. I don't know if that's going to be range 2 or not for yellow, because that's the one you really need.
And that's range 2. It's huge. If it's not, that's huge for Dread.
Yeah, because red is the only one that that still has a shield left. Scorch is probably not going to have any shots this round, because I don't even know what the K turns are in that thing.
I think they're just sloops, actually. I'm even sure it has K turns.
Looks like he's debating on what action to take here.
He's probably thinking about that barrel roll to give him the better line in. Going with the lock.
Going for the lock. Interesting choice here.
I think that's kind of telling that we're likely to see a bank maneuver, a 1 or 2 bank out of him the next turn.
Well, and one thing too that he hasn't even utilized yet is the R2 Astromech. So now, granted, there's not a ton of time left for him to really utilize it, but he could technically push yellow back above that half-point threshold.
And that, I think that would really seal it.
Yep. Yeah, so you basically have to kill yellow this turn from or the Y-wing this turn to like even have a chance at this point, just because there's just not enough time left.
And we see Josh actually moving that target lock.
Yep. So no shot from Gavin here, no shot from Scorch.
And doing that barrel with Scorch, I don't know how I feel about that, because you don't have a lot of time.
You lock yourself into just going straight if you want actions.
Exactly. Yeah.
We got a range 2 dorsal non-obstructed.
That's that was close, but definitely not.
Hit crit. And there's a double nat. Scorch is just like, what if you don't hit me this turn? That'd be great.
The king of the beans. That's why they call him Jad Bean. He's accepted Scorch just isn't getting hit, and is gonna shift into that SF.
Trying to get points there. Just 1 hit coming into the SF at range 2. And safe.
Easy evade.
This is the type of dice you want to see at the beginning of the game. Then another range 2 dorsal coming in here. Another hit crit.
The beam.
There's some average. Those are 2 shields coming off. Still full points on Scorch though.
One more hit would be the difference.
Yep. And it looks like he does have the range 2 on yellow, so he's going to have a cluster missile shot here. Oh, no, he's not going to have a cluster missile shot.
Targeting sync.
Oh. So, no, just a normal shot. And I think that probably seals it right there.
Goes into red. I think he was hoping if he could get a little bit more down on red, that would be the easier half points.
Mm-hmm. And just 1 shield. 8 minutes left on the clock. If they can go quick, then we may see 2 more rounds.
And what do you think we see here? I'm imagining yellow might actually go fast. The SF.
Yeah.
And go for that butt arc. Scorch, I mean, with just those straight blues is not a great spot, sadly.
So, well, maybe honestly just so you can try and guarantee that you have a cluster missile happening, maybe you just do a 1 bank with the Zeta and just do a 1 straight with Scorch, just to guarantee that you have that targeting synchronizer, and you just try and double down the best you can. Because at this point, like, you just have to assume that you're just not going to have enough time left for another round. Because you're just hoping that you're just going to have a miracle shot and you don't take any damage in return and you don't lose half points.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it pay off a couple times. Like, I mean, it happens, but you know, the window of victory is slowly getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
I think we might even see the hard 2 with Scorch then. So that's really what he's going for.
Yeah, just try
My
and
only
guarantee shot.
my only concern is what does that red Y-wing do? Does it go fast? Does it go slow? And we got to make sure he cleans up that he's got 2 Scorch locks out there. Red should be official
Yeah.
lock.
I would probably just do a 1 straight with the red Y-wing, honestly. Like, just because right now you're in such a good position that there's almost no reason for you to try and really like risk it for the biscuit. Play it safe. You have the arc on the dorsal turret. All you need to do is push 1 more damage into Scorch, and that was a very weird move for the Zeta because he's not going to have a shot now, probably.
I mean, we're definitely gonna see the focus. We should see
Rotate
the
the arc.
Should see that, and it looks like he's trying to remember how to rotate. There we go.
And there's the rotate. So he's hoping that red or yellow are
is.
going to go fast.
And if we see both of them go fast,
Okay, so he's got a shot here unless he rolls out. I don't know if he has room to roll there.
I don't think he does with that gas cloud there.
So he's just going to take that. So not terrible. Red
Red's gonna
is just
bump,
bumping.
which does mean, I mean, cluster didn't really matter at that range anyway. Scorch, if Scorch did that hard too, he'd get the cluster off.
Yep, so 5 straight out of Gavin, just trying to make himself relevant again.
Which, when he dropped that Connor net, I kind of chuckled, but
And you never know. I mean, you know, you could have tried to do a 3 bank and you would have at least closed off an avenue.
oh,
But-
I was expecting Gavin to just kind of go in with
Meander.
his buddies, so I was kind of surprised to see him go that fast. But I think Dread is choosing violence here, which makes sense, pushing the advantage.
And just
mean-
doing 1 straight, clearing the stress. I think I would have just done the 2 hard and accepted. I mean, because you need more than 1 gun shooting this round to be able to win.
Need damage more than you need health.
Yep.
And they're shuffling those locks, trying to figure out which one.
Yep, they got to figure it out.
They got the right one. There we go.
So no shot for Scorch this round. Seems to be the going trend.
I still no shot. I don't know if I like that boost. I mean, I understand the rationale behind it, but now you're stressed.
And then you're just going straight again next round.
It's interesting because I know when the bomber released, a lot of people were talking about that pre-position and how powerful it would be. But with only straight blues, we're seeing
It's
the
very hard,
limitation.
yeah. So the other thing is too. So okay, so he gave up essentially his action here to try and boost around. And if he would have just done the 2 hard, he still would have been without an action, but he would have had a shot. And that's generally like whenever I try and make my choices, especially at this kind of late in the game, where you only have at most 1 more round left. You really need to try and focus on, okay, where is my win condition here instead of I need to hold points, unless your win condition is holding points.
And I think that's a huge thing for players to keep in mind is you always need to be thinking about what is my win condition and what am I trying to accomplish.
Double
Does get
nets
the
here.
evades.
Yep, still sitting pretty. Gonna probably guarantee that he's gonna try and at least waste 1 more shot on the Scorch here to get those half points.
And I'm not actually sure if that was into the Zeta or Scorch. They were both obstructed and should have gotten 1 more die, I believe.
Oh,
But it
well,
didn't
no,
matter.
I actually don't. Was it obstructed? I don't know.
It
if,
was.
Yeah, I don't think it was on. I don't think it was obstructed.
It was obstructed on Scorch at range 3 and obstructed range 2 on the Zeta. So I think that was into the Zeta.
Oh, okay. So he was just doubling down on all of as much dice as he can onto the Zeta.
Well, and he might be looking at it as if he can get that Zeta off, it's gonna protect it's on yellow. And I don't think the Zeta will kill yellow, but there's always those. Well, we can't even say those crits because he can steal them away with his friends.
Yep. So yeah, we have a range 1 coming in here onto yellow. Still full health on the board. I'm not entirely sure if it's possible for him to die here unless he just blanks out completely.
I think you would need the double blank out or the right crits, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a YV take 11 damage in a single shot before, but that was very specific. And yep, no way that he can die now.
He is safe. At worst, it's all shields.
And at most, it's going to be one shield. Not too bad for the Zeta here. And there's the shield.
And the Saddies.
Yeah, that is 6 heroics.
Heroics, great people. That's what we're saying.
Yep. Especially on 2 dice ships, you lose a lot of the value when you move into 3 dice ships. But 2 dice, absolutely, like, very worth it.
For sure.
So we have the range 1. Oh no, it feels so bad. Well, he gets the damage in. But unfortunately, it doesn't give him any more points.
It does, considering this is definitely the last round now, it does prevent yellow from regenning above half.
That is correct.
Obviously, I don't know how much that'll influence the win condition, but at least, it feels good to have those points locked up and know going into the next round next round of the tournament, I should say, that you'll have those.
I'm not...
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry. He actually just crossed half because the Y-Wings have hull upgrades.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I forgot about the hull upgrades. Where's Dion? Hull upgrade.
Yeah, if they have hull upgrades, then I actually don't think there's any possible way that he could win at this point. For Josh.
Yep, I agree, because I think
all of my mental math was based on them only having 8 total and not 9.
And that 9 is huge, pushing it above.
It makes a big difference
from that 4 to 5 points. 4 to 5, hit points.
Yep.
So I think means obviously Scorch. You can't really do anything useful with Scorch right now. I think the Zeta's at least going to try to get, more damage onto red. He does have that lockout there. That's a cluster at least.
I'd probably just do a 1 bank here to the left with the Zeta and just catch as much of it as you can in the arc.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, if it goes right, he at least could get half points on both green and red. Obviously, that would require, like a full damage and no defense dice. It wouldn't give him the win, but it would definitely be a moral victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're 23 points for half. 23 points, bring it to a 102. Josh. So yeah, no way to get the win, but at least can get the...
Yeah. And, at this point, whenever you know that, like, there's really no real win condition anymore, you just try and take as many points from your opponent as you possibly can.
Exactly. I don't know if I like this procs drop. I don't think yellow will hit it, but I would not even want to risk it.
So that says to me that the Zeta is probably just going over the cloud.
I hope so. At this point, I'd rather see him go over the cloud than go anywhere near those procs mines. Oh, doing the hard one. If there weren't dorsal turrets on these Y-Wings, I would like that move more.
Yeah, I mean, you're not guaranteeing that you're going to be getting out of anything here. You're just accepting whatever damage comes your way.
And there goes that Y-Wing back above half, thanks to that hull upgrade.
Yep.
And he is just accepting. It's the last round, and this is actually a interesting technique that I don't think we see enough players employ. I know it's the last round. I won't fly my ships off the board, so I can put them right into this corner with no fear.
Yep, I actually made a cut that way back in 2017 at a regional. I was flying against a Miranda regen, and I was flying Bosk, and basically we had to rewind the game a little bit because we didn't realize that he actually didn't take one shield from me, so I was still above half. And I finally figured out, like, I stared at the stared at the table for like 2 or 3 minutes trying to figure out if there was a way to win. I finally saw it. I was like, oh, I can just 3-bank into the corner of the match because this is the last round. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. He's using feed ping onto Gavin. Not sure it does anything for him. Now, see, this is another interesting thing where, I mean, Gavin's already out of Yellow's arc, but if he wasn't, you could accept that barrel onto the Connor's net.
Yep.
You keep that stress, Josh.
Yep. Figured it out.
Um,
So he's Scorch
it's
is just accepting a lot of things here. You probably lose half points at this point on Scorch.
It's going to be interesting to see if he takes everything into Scorch or if he tries to. He's doing that range
Going
one.
for the range one.
I think he wants to see if he can get half on both.
Yeah,
that's what he's going for here.
And try and strip as many points as possible.
Yeah.
Yep, he does. He only gets gets two. He only gets 2 dice here. You need to make sure that.
Oh, yes.
But he's strained. Yeah, so he needs to remove one of those. He's gonna have to re-roll those probably.
Yeah,
there it is. And there's one. And 2.
And that'll be half points.
Nope, just 2. Just 2 shields.
Well, he was already down a shield.
Oh, okay, yeah, then it's half points then.
Yep. So that's exactly what Dread was going for there. Scorch.
3 dice into green.
That's nice.
It's not too bad. That is
get the half onto green.
So
if Dread wanted to be really nice, he could gamble on the direct.
There's a direct.
And then pull the crit into Yellow and give Josh half points on both of these guys again. Looks like he's not gonna be doing that. Oh, actually, I don't think Yellow's in range. Sadly, that would have been glorious.
Yeah.
Ultimate sportsmanship, right?
Here's a range 1 into Scorch. All the red dice just sitting on the table here.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Now we're getting rid of them.
I say, when he only pulled 2, I was worried that he was going to go for that Zeta. And
it's like, oh, what are you doing?
Half on Scorch.
Almost guaranteed. And there it is.
Yep, the natties have died.
Yep. At some point, they do bottom out. Oh, he flipped the wrong one.
I think he caught it, but.
And here's the range 1 again, trying to go for the kill here. And not going to happen. Oh, no, never mind, it could. No, he's going for it. And that is it.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a whole upgrade, right? Okay. Just making sure I missed that.
Upgrade.
So just half points on the Zeta, who is the lone survivor.
I'm cheating. I'm checking the stream. It looks like it is 56 for Josh and 182 for Dread.
Whew.
And the Jad Bean challenge lives on.
And no shot for the Zeta, unfortunately.
I had a few.
No, he's got the range 2. I don't think it's possible for him to kill it unless he gets some really crazy crit magic. But
he can get the half.
He can get half points back.
Taking that shield back. So that's at least nice.
And just a whole one.
And denied.
Nope.
For that focus.
And that is the game.
That is. Oh, it was interesting. And definitely more clusters from these Zetas. It could have changed a lot there.
Yep. Well, I think probably the biggest turning point of the game was Josh not calling the K turns on that 3rd round of combat.
Yeah, absolutely. Those K turns were
They were very
definitely heads
choice.
up.
Yep.
All right, and okay, Alex, are we pulling them in or we
Yeah, I think
taking it
they
out?
should be joining in. I think Josh probably will. Let me just message them real
Uh,
quick.
and are you gonna wrap up the stream or go and talk to them first?
Let's see what they want to do. Unless they want to bail.
While you guys
Go
figure that out,
away.
I will step away from the computer real quick.
But yeah, so for anyone who's still watching, if you ever want to join any of our tournaments in the future, join our Discord. There is a link in our about section of our Twitch stream. We try to do some kind of league with an interesting theme. And then we also always have our tournaments, shooting for bi-weekly.
Hey guys,
Looks like we got Josh here.
how's it going? Dread's on the way. Yeah. Tears in my eyes because I literally didn't know what I was doing. So it was good to learn about this list. I've never flown it. I've only watched it be flown, and so this was really informative to learn about what I did wrong. So
The bean challenge lives on.
the bean challenge lives on. Nobody's won it so far. So yeah. Dred did a great job of cornering me with those clusters, and I should have barreled earlier, a little bit earlier on, with Scorch to be within targeting synchronizer range. That really kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah. We talked about a couple of those boosts. Just remember that boost is a white in the systems phase.
Oh, is it white?
It's white in the
Yes.
systems phase because it's not stated. You did blue
Ah.
moves after it anyway, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I forgot that, and that was a really good thing to point out. I really did think it was red for whatever reason. So
I'm back.
Andrew
Hello.
hey, Andrew.
and Dread. Oh, you guys had talked about these proxmines a little bit before the game. They once you got into it, did they stress you out that much?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I mean he flew around the outside so much that I just I mean I knew I was gonna try to stay in the middle. So I just didn't want I mean when Gavin took 3 shields like in the first engagement it was pretty bad because I normally would try to keep his arc on the enemy ships just so I could keep getting the crits through, but I bumped and kind of had to bail out a little bit.
That bump when you were trying to do the sloop here.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it was this way. We were like, that's huge. But those 4Ks with your Y wings, Andrew called those,
Yeah.
and they were beautiful.
They were beautiful. Yeah.
Josh didn't like them as much as I did, I'm sure.
I saw the 4 gigs coming, but I was like, do I keep them in arc or do I get out? And so I was really hoping that we would get a cluster missile shot here, and I regret not taking a lock when I was right here shooting back at him when he bumped. Because I was really proud of that bump that I set up, because I was like, I'm going to get that bump and it's going to be great. And then I whiffed on that final thing to get him like at least incredibly wounded. And the idea was that Scorch would be enough within cluster range to sort of connect those dots. But I should have barreled and then locked. But
Targeting sync feels really tough. It almost feels like you're trying so hard to get it sometimes that you just you get disappointed when you miss out.
yeah. I knew that I was going to probably do poorly on this list. I just was like, I didn't expect like all these figures for me to remember. They're that painful.
I've been playing with target sync for a long time, trying to make it work in resistance lists with fireballs. So I've been using it. I've been using it a lot, and my conclusion has always been it's not good. because you spend too much effort trying to get it off. I mean, my favorite list was flying Finn in the pod with target sync, and then Page, Tico, Gunner, Tico crew to get the target locks, but you still got to keep your ships within range 2 of each other.
Yeah, the range mechanic is very hard to keep everything together.
And versus aces, you don't ever get the target lock off anyway, so it feels bad. But with an E-wing, the ability to get 2 target locks on turn 1, that's a game changer. Yeah.
Yeah, that was huge for me because I was like, oh well, what am I gonna do now? The only thing I can do is hope to jump in there. I was wondering if I could like maybe just like fake out a bomb. I wasn't sure what to do at that point once you had the locks. But it was a fun game regardless. Like it was
very enjoyable.
This list is trash, and now I know it, and so I will trash it.
Sometimes you just got to get it out of your system.
Exactly. And so I still had fun. Thanks for coming on, Andrew. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
I'm so glad to be back in the host seat next week, so I don't have to play on stream.
Josh, we didn't tell you. We stole the chair.
You stole the chair?
Your seat's gone.
Oh, my seat's gone. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks.
We're gonna keep Andrew.
Hey, that's fine by me. Yeah. I love the table. I love the tokens that you guys both designed. So you designed and then Andrew put together. So I appreciate that.
It was great getting to hang out with Andrew because of the fact that we both had two sides of the token coin.
Yeah, a lot of times I get a lot of groups and like squads and stuff like that want me to design stuff, and a lot of times I just don't have time, and I feel bad because I'm just like I really can't do anything about this. So it's always nice whenever people make stuff and they're just like, you just need to produce the thing that I give you, and I'm like, thank God.
Ryan, you're writing upside down, by the way.
You're writing upside down. I don't even know what you're writing.
You come at it from the opposite side. I always watch it from the other.
Yeah.
Other side.
So it looks like you're writing GSP 2022, but that's what I see.
Or
that's supposed to be a 1.
2020.
Yeah. So, just for anyone that's still in, because we're still live, anyone that's still watching, give Andrew Nuckols all your money, because he deserves it.
I don't know about that.
He has a coupon code, GSP 2021. I believe you said it was still good till December 1st. So it's still good on Tuesday, for those that are wondering.
Correct.
Because December 1st is after that. The first Tuesday after that, not good anymore.
But yeah, as always, the support is always very welcome. Because that, as most people probably know by this point, it is my only job, and yeah, I like money. Thank you.
In this case, instead of saying it as a cruel joke, I mean this with all sincerity. Please don't quit your day job.
Please don't quit your day job. Yeah,
that is the plan.
Yeah, we need tokens for the entire next year. So just so you know. So.
Well, I'm sticking around, so you know.
Cool, awesome. So glad to have you on. So glad. I'm so embarrassed that this was the list that I decided to fly, but it was awesome. I wanted to see what Ryan did, and then Ryan did it first, and I was like, well, I know I have to try it. So my goal is to get every mod on playing this list against somebody.
Remember, I chose my pain, which was all the pain.
Yeah, you chose worse. You chose no upgrades, but you got an extra epsilon out of that, so that was probably worth it.
An extra zeta.
A zeta, sorry.
100% worth it.
Yeah, I appreciated that difference. Cool. All right, guys. Yeah.
We'll wrap on this. For anyone still watching, I'm Ryan Crocker.
I'm.
Josh.
I'm Josh Shu, and I'll be back next week in the streaming chair where I belong, apparently.
And I'm Andrew Nuckols. Tune in next time on Birmingham Barons podcast, whenever that may be.
I'm looking forward to that episode whenever it comes out. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for having me out, guys.
Good night,
Thank you.
guys.
And we're out.
Thank you so much.